Everyone wins when workers receive fair wages. Higher wages means more spending, and that's good for the economy. A $15 minimum wage will improve the earnings of over 1/4 of Ontario's workforce, about 1.5 million people. A $15 minimum wage is a $5 billion boost to the economy. It'll strengthen local economies because minimum wage earners tend to spend most of their earnings. This money will be put to work where it's needed most, in local communities. Raising Ontario's minimum wage to $15 an hour would stimulate Ontario's economy by putting more than $5 billion of additional dollars in workers' pockets. This increased spending generates even more economic activity, creating an effect that cascades through the economy and multiplies the impact of the initial $5 billion stimulus. And it wouldn't cost the Ontario government a cent. It creates jobs. Increasing the minimum wage of $15 an hour makes good economic sense. Household spending is a key economic driver, accounting for more than 54% of Canada's GDP. Businesses need customers to thrive and generate job growth. Without customers, who can afford to buy what businesses are selling? There's no point for them to produce more goods and services. This helps explains why tax cuts for corporations and the rich have failed to create the jobs we were promised. No amount of tax cuts will convince businesses to produce more if they can't sell what they are already producing. So, today, businesses are not reinvesting their profits, but simply stockpiling them to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. Even the big banks and previous Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney have warned about the stash of dead money. Increasing the minimum wage would put money to work and create demand for additional goods and services, which in turn creates jobs. It'll also reduce income inequality. Raising the minimum wage benefits nearly 1.5 million people, almost 60% of whom are at least 25 years old. Women, newcomers, and racialized workers face systematic discrimination in the labor market, and this explains why they are overrepresented among minimum wage earners. Over 58% of minimum wage earners are women, and according to the Wellesley Institute, 35% are racialized. The share of racialized employees earning minimum wage is 47%, higher than for the total population. Raising the minimum wage will help close the income gap for workers facing barriers on the job market. But workers under 25 also deserve higher wages. We cannot assume that young workers aren't being breadwinners, supporting themselves and/or dependents. Decent wages for all workers mean that young people can leave abusive situations to live independently when necessary. Moreover, young workers are very often students whose earnings go towards the cost of education, including tuition fees, housing, and living expenses.